in the service today. We have it in the anthem, and we had it in the reading, and we have children in the service today, which are essentially little shouts of life in and of themselves. By the way, kids, there are crayons right here. We're coming up to the sermon, which is the most exciting part of the service. But if you need some crayons to help get you through the night, that's okay. So,
can I have some?
Go to your room. So we do have crayons there up here somewhere. If you need to get the wiggles out, come get the crayon and take notes on the sermon. So yeah, lots of shouting, and it's good shouting today. Good shouting. So I guess the only thing to do at this point to make the service have any kind of integrity is for there to be some shouting in the sermon. Yes, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a moment. But I want to ask the kids who are in the room, do you think shouting in church would be fun?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I couldn't hear you. You need to shout in church for me to hear you.
Yeah.
Yes! Okay, so that's a taste. We will do some shouting later on. That's a warm-up. Now, shouting can be done in different ways. Now, you can shout in anger. And you can shout in sorrow. You can shout in warning. You can shout in declaration and in joy. Whatever the cause, in the wake of shouting, after you shout, there is a kind of emptiness. In the exhaustion post-explosion, there is a calm that is often accompanied by insight and by truth. So if you're on a mountaintop and you're feeling very fine and proud of your accomplishment, and you self-importantly shout, "I made it!" Subsequent silence and indifference of the world returns you to your place. I don't love you anymore! I can't stay. I don't want to go to bed! I'm actually kind of tired. Woohoo! Struggle never ends. So this truth after shouting is not always the opposite of what you shouted, but it's just that the truth needed that shout to happen in order to have the space to reveal itself. The shout shakes things up. It shakes up your insides. It bursts the conceptual. It goes beyond words. I sound my barbaric yawp. It is this tremendous energy that wells up sometimes that cannot be contained by words. And if it can, it is only for a moment as all this energy fills the word that explodes as soon as it leaves your mouth. And then there's that space. And there's no noise. Just truth. Okay, so everyone here under 15, could you stand up for a second? Can you stand up? I'm going to teach you a word. I'm going to teach you a word. The word is catharsis. Catharsis. It means basically change. A special kind of change. It means that something new and life-giving is going to grow out of something old and life-draining, and this is going to happen quite suddenly. So, catharsis. Can you shout catharsis? Let's hear it more. Catharsis. Thank you. Can you tell me what it means? Change. Cool. Thank you. Catharsis. So, go tell your teachers on Monday about your catharsis at church on Sunday. You will blow their minds. And you can sit down. Thank you. So shouting can be cathartic. And if shouting is not cathartic, you need to pipe down. Because in that case, shouting is just violence and hurtful. But whether for joy or pain, we have seen that there is a healthy kind of shouting, and that one of the marks of healthy shouting is its ability to provide us a cathartic moment and a moment of clarity. And I feel like that is what we need as a country and as a state, as a congregation, perhaps personally. We need a release from the mindset into which we have painted ourselves. Now, I have minimal influence on the state of the country or of the state, but the congregation. We all have real influence here. All of us. And even better, this is a container that is upfront about its spiritual nature and so catharsis for us. Here's something that I've noticed. A person may be a generous, giving, open person as an individual. And that same person can behave a little bit differently in community. The decisions that person makes with regard to community are less generous, less giving, less open, more guarded, more cautious, and more defensive. And I'm not talking about giving money, at least not primarily. And I know that I am preaching to the choir, so to speak, but I'm also preaching to the preacher. I stand stone in my hand in a lovely glass house. But shattering glass is also cathartic. The point is that I have observed that I, or perhaps that you, are at times less open in community than in private. It's ironic. Now, there are likely pretty good reasons, evolutionarily, for this. But evolution has also equipped us with the ability, in some ways, to influence our own evolution. It's called consciousness. It has intent. And so we can change ourselves. The question is, why change? It's a good question, Ron. Thank you. Let me answer it. There's an equation as far as I can see. The guardedness in community all too easily mutates into a kind of spiritual and administrative stinginess. And this stinginess leads to silos of proprietariness and a blindness to the hopes of the larger community. And this becomes a negative feedback loop of self-fulfilling prophecy of failure. And this condition will affect the soul of the single person participating in that system. It will also result in that system, that community, getting stuck. And this will eventually kill the community. So am I saying that this is the case here at Mountain Vista UU? No. I'm not ready to say that. The spirit here is still quite vibrant. But there is a danger, and there are signs and instances And so you, Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalists, do need to hear this. You also need to be aware that there are times when the guardedness and the self-interest that starts this cycle is more likely to appear. And one such time is during growth. Another such time is when community-wide decisions need to be made. And folks, we will continue to grow, and this will necessitate community-wide decisions. So we need to get these demons of stingy spirit, what demons of stingy spirit we have, we need to exercise them, get them out of us. And we will start here, today, in this hour together. And we'll start in two ways. And the first is a diagnosis, and then we'll have a bit of fun. So the diagnosis is that stinginess and guardedness and all that business is rooted in fear. Now recently I saw a meme on Facebook. I saw it from a couple of people here. So I'm going to pick on you, but I won't name names. The thing is, I saw this meme on Facebook. It was popular for a day or so. And then I also saw it on a bumper sticker that same day. And so when that starts to happen to a preacher, it begins to creep out of the realm of coincidence. Okay, so the meme was this. It was a greater than sign facing the word love, with its pointy little tail facing the word hate. That's a good idea. Love is greater than fear. It's an excellent idea. Unfortunately, it's doomed. For one, from the point of view of brain science, the stick is more compelling than the carrot. It just is. But more to the point of this sermon, anyway, the notion that love is greater than fear means that the purveyor and adopter of such an idea is operating out of a mindset where love needs to be greater than. This mindset is operating out of fear. I don't think love is concerned with prevailing over fear or anything else. Love is only interested in love. The idea that love is greater than fear can be comforting, but it is still operating out of the mindset of fear. So what to do? Love. That's the meme. That's the bumper sticker, just love. Just love. Love encompassing and flowing through you, compassion and confidence, kindness and warmth and generosity, and yes. And here especially. Especially here. With love as our guide. It's our covenant. So let love prevail here at Mountain Vista. Here we can obliterate the temptations into fear. We can obliterate the guardedness with which we enter community. And that too will have a profound effect on the community and on the practitioner of love. This is our chance. This is why you are here. And we can do this here at Mountain Vista because we have made promises to each other. Even this morning. We have a covenant that binds us and protects us and fosters love like seed, like soil fosters seed. And when we break these promises, which we are almost bound to do, we estrange ourselves from the covenant. But when you guys made this covenant, you were wise, because the first line of the covenant is to welcome the stranger. So forgiveness is implicit in your covenant. And we are received and granted trust and forgiveness and welcomed into a covenant that invokes love as its guide. People, we can be here in love. We can create here a culture of kindness and generosity, beyond the kindness and generosity that I also already see here. We can keep that practice going. We can become better at it. It is here where we can practice living out of a mindset of bounty rather than fear. A bounty of love, of compassion, of patience, of giving, of attention, a bounty of welcome, care, and inspiration. And we can practice it here, together, on purpose. Of course, sometimes those silos are hard to crack. Sometimes those neural pathways of guardedness in the brain are difficult to leave. And this makes practice difficult to begin. So sometimes we need, what's the word? Catharsis. Sometimes we need catharsis. Now, I make no promises, rather I make invitations. And I'm wondering, Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalists, are you ready to invite catharsis?
Yes.
Yay! Then let us make a joyful noise. Let us shake the rafters. Or shake the light fixtures. Okay, love is our guide. Let's shout at that. Will you shout it with me? Wait. Wait. Because that was good. But I mean, shout it. This won't work half off. Love as our guide. We are intergenerational today. All right, so kids, adults, everybody, I want you to yell it from the bottom of your toes to the tips of your hair. Love as our guide. Ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Love! And truth.
And truth.